Have you ever met someone who hasn't failed in life? Not even once? I certainly haven't. We all experience failure in different ways and we all define failure differently. Wouldn't it be great though if all of us could be successful all the time? That's why in this video, we're going to talk about 5 valuable lessons you can learn from your failures that will pave the way for your future success. Failure helps you grow. Setbacks and failures are opportunities for growth. Let me give you an example. Imagine it's your first day at a new job. You're excited to be there and learn everything you need to do. Your training manager shows you a software that you're going to be using daily. After some explanation and direction, she tells you to do a task using the software. As your manager watches on, you proceed to complete the task incorrectly. Not great. You probably wanted to do it perfectly and make a great first impression. But the opposite happened and now you feel embarrassed that you didn't learn things right away. Failure forces you to see what went wrong, think about weaknesses, and learn from your mistakes. In fact, a group of scientists led by Robert Wilson at the University of Arizona researched this and found that during the process of learning something new, we fail 15% of the time. They call this the 85% rule. If what we're learning is too easy, we don't learn anything from it, meaning there's no growth. If it's too difficult, we will likely give up. Hey, really quickly, before we go to the next point, if you like our content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Thanks. Let's keep going. Setbacks make you resilient. Resilience is our ability to cope mentally and emotionally with crisis or to return to pre-crisis status quickly. When you've failed in life, but you've come out the other end alive and well to talk about your experience, it inevitably makes you stronger. It's like practicing and getting better at something. When you fail, you learn how to get back up and try again, just like when you fall while learning to ride a bicycle. In my experience as a counselor, I've seen firsthand what it means to be resilient in the face of adversity. I've worked with clients whose failures in life made them lose everything: their job, their home, their children. But the one thing they didn't lose was their resilience. They accepted their mistakes and made changes that ultimately brought back everything they lost. In other words, failure teaches us how to bounce back. Failure motivates you to do better. There's not a single person in this world who's ever done anything important and worthwhile without first failing. But the important part here is not that they failed, but that they let their failure motivate them to do better. Would you believe me if I told you that Walt Disney, early in his career, was fired from a job at a newspaper because they thought he lacked imagination? Albert Einstein was labeled mentally slow on his permanent school records. And did you know that Henry Ford had 2 other car companies that failed before he started Ford? These are just a few examples. There's countless others. These stories teach us that if we let failure simply remain a failure, we will accomplish nothing in life. If Walt Disney gave up on the idea of being a cartoonist because he was told he lacked imagination, we wouldn't have any of the fun cartoons we grew up watching as children, or the beautiful memories of going to Disney World. So let your failures motivate you to do bigger and better things. Failure makes you creative and innovative. I want you to imagine a small child who wants nothing more than to get a cookie from the cookie jar. To prevent him from getting into the cookie jar, his mother has put it on top of the fridge. Every day, the small child will use a different strategy to get to the cookie jar. One day he tries pulling a chair over to the fridge and getting on it, but the chair turns out to be too short. The next day he tries another chair that's taller, but again not tall enough to reach the cookie jar. Every day he faces failure, motivating him more and more to get to that cookie jar. Until finally, he gets creative and realizes that if he uses the chair to first get on top of the kitchen counter, he can reach the cookie jar easily. Failure can make you think outside the box and push you to get out of your comfort zone. When your initial approach doesn't work, you're pushed to think of new ways to do things. It also encourages creative thinking and problem solving. Failure builds character and perspective. Success is a byproduct of failure. No matter how painful an experience it is, every failure brings us one step closer to success. This is how it builds character. We all love and enjoy KFC. But before KFC became the household name it is today, Colonel Harlan David Sanders failed to sell his famous chicken recipe 1,000 times. It wasn't until the 1,010th time that someone finally decided to give him a chance. But I bet if we asked him today about the 1,009 times he failed, he'll say it humbled him. Because another great thing about failure is its ability to give us perspective and to see things differently. Failure paves the way for success. As cliched as it may be, this is a true statement. Think about it. I can think of a million things that we didn't do well at first, but with time, we got better and succeeded. Here's a few examples. Learning to walk, learning to talk, learning to read, riding a bicycle, driving a car, cooking, playing a sport, playing an instrument. The list goes on and on and on. When we fail, we learn. Failure will always and forever remain a failure if you didn't learn something from it. That's why Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." So if you're watching this video because you've recently faced a setback, or you're worried about the possibility of failing in the future, you're not alone. Failure is inevitable. It's how we respond to these challenges and what we learn that truly define our path to success. So share your thoughts with us about how failure has paved the way for your success in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to spread loving kindness to all beings around you and be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.